Hi, it's Marieta. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I want to talk about E2 requirements for 2021 coming up. Alright guys, so before I dive deeper, I do want to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you're new. Hit that bell notification button so you're notified every time I release new content. And if you are aspiring E2 investor, you definitely want to check out my free training how to get E2 investor visa during COVID-19, and the link is going to be below this video. So definitely check it out, register. It's a completely free training full of useful information. So let's talk about requirements for investor visas, E2 visas for 2021. So this is actually a frequently asked question that I'm getting because I am serving mostly E2 investors, and this is something I've been doing for a couple of years now. Majority of my practice is really focused on serving foreign entrepreneurs who are applying for E2 investor visas. They're starting companies in US, and this is a frequently asked question that I'm getting. Can I travel to US under E2 visa, especially during the immigration ban? And to answer this question, yes, you can travel. That just because there is immigration ban, this is not impacting you, E2 investor. And so if you're aspiring E2 investor, you can certainly travel to US, you can certainly start your business in the United States, and you can get started. So when it comes to requirements, these are the same. Requirements for 2021 will stay the same. So that being said, requirement number one, you have to be from E2 treaty country. So what this essentially means, you have to Google if your country has signed a treaty with the United States, and simply you just can Google E2 treaty countries. And if you find the list and your country is on the list, you're good to go. Second step is basically to check what's the minimum amount of investment you need for your particular business. Again, this is a frequently asked question. What is the minimum E2 visa requirement? Well, I made a video specifically on this topic. In fact, I also made a video how you can get E2 visa with minimum requirement, minimum investment. So you can definitely check it out. I'm going to link these videos for you. Now, to answer this question, guys, you don't have to invest $100,000 or more to get E2 visa. That's not necessarily accurate. What you need to do is to calculate what is the startup cost for your business. And that really depends. So it depends on the business model, it depends on the location, it depends on different factors. So you got to calculate what is my startup cost to make this business operational and not marginal. So what does it mean? Marginal means that the business is generating less than your minimum living expenses. So that actually means that, for example, if your living cost in specific geographic area, specific city in US, it's, for example, $5,000. And this is the minimum that you need to cover your living costs. And your business is generating $4,000. That means that your business is marginal. So that also means that you will not be approved. So you actually need to establish by strong evidence that your business is not marginal. So in other words, it means that it's generating more than your minimum living expenses. Now, if you have family members with you, you have spouse with you, you have kids with you, obviously your living expenses will be higher, and you need to show by evidence that your business is not marginal and is actually making profit. So this is a very important requirement that many people actually forget, especially when it comes to E2 visas, and then they're surprised why they are not approved. So you have to understand that with E2 visas, you are actually starting a real business. You're starting active and real business, and just because you wire funds, you wire your investment, for example, $100,000, and you don't do anything with this money, you don't really invest the money, then you don't qualify. And many people make this mistake. They think that just because I'm going to wire funds, then I'm good to go and I can apply. That's not true. You have to show that you have invested or you're in the process of investing. So that being said, you actually really spend the money. So where do you spend the money? Well, it depends. And this is something that I'm usually doing for my clients. We come up with a strategy, business strategy, how we are investing the funds and so on. So it makes sense not just from the E2 visa perspective, the immigration perspective, but it also makes sense from the business perspective as a business owner, right? So you have to really be smart and think strategically, but also understand the requirements. So one of the requirements is that the business is not marginal. It has to be active, right? So for example, if you're investing into real estate and let's say you invest $1 million, you buy a property, well, guess what? You don't really qualify for E2 visa. I do have a video where I explain how you can get E2 when it comes to investments into real estate property. So I'm going to link the video for you and you can check it out if you want to learn more. Another requirement is that you have to be actively engaged with the business, right? So that means that yes, you can hire a team, but you still need to be engaged. You need to be engaged preferably on day-to-day basis with the business. Now, people always ask me, how big is the team? What's the requirement? Do not mistake E2 visa with EB5. EB5 is a green card, okay? E2 visa is a non-immigrant visa, which actually allows you to work in US on your business and manage the company, but this is not a green card permanent solution. It's a temporary solution. However, you can extend the visa multiple times as long as your business is active, as long as it's making profit, as long as you're paying taxes. So people ask me, what's the requirement for the team members? Well, you don't necessarily need to hire any team members when you are starting out. So that's the truth. But I do recommend at least to have maybe one employee or maybe a team member. You can outsource people at the beginning, but eventually while you are building the business, you definitely want to create positions for the local people, US citizens, and so on. So that's that, but there is no requirement such as 10 full-time positions like with EB5 green card, where you have to actually hire people and you need to obviously demonstrate the ability to pay these people. So that's not the case with E2 visa. Now, you should be able to document that the business is not marginal, that you have invested these funds from legal source, right? So you have to show that the money are actually clean money, which is no brainer, but still you need to be aware that you have to demonstrate the source, legal source of your funds. So for example, if you obtain the funds from a loan, then you obviously need to document by submitting the loan, right? But usually, as long as the legal source is in place, you can have multiple different sources and you should be okay. So keep that in mind, because sometimes people ask me, especially if they are planning to raise funds, right? They ask me, if I give away equity and I raise money, can I use it for E2 visas? Not really. You cannot use it for E2 visa because you as an investor, you need to show that you are bearing the risk of investment. So that essentially means that you as an investor, you put in your own funds at risk. And that is how you bearing the risk of investment. That is how you're meeting one of the requirements. And that is how you're going to be considered as a serious E2 investor. So this is just the overview, guys. The requirements will stay the same. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, you can leave them below this video. And like I said, definitely check out that free training, how you can get E2 visa to United States during COVID-19. In that training, I explain everything you need to know, all the requirements that you need to meet, and then how you can actually apply for E2 visa and be approved. Because if you understand, about 40% of E2 investors, these applications are denied for pretty much the same reasons. A, you are not able to show that business is not marginal, or B, you are not able to show that you have still strong ties in your home country, because you are somehow forgetting that E2 visa is non-immigrant visa type, not necessarily immigrant visa type. Because with immigrant visa type, you have intention to immigrate. With non-immigrant visa type, you do not have intention to immigrate. And because of that, you still need to show strong ties to your home country. Lastly, if you need more information, you can schedule consultation with me. Like I said, I focus on E2 investors. This is something I've been doing for years. In fact, I myself had E2 visa. So I've done it myself, and that's how I started to help other E2 investors. So I'm actually gonna link my story for you so you can check out my story, my personal story, how I got my E2 visa and all of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you find it useful, please like it, share it with people who might need this information, spread the word. And yeah, if you have question, comments, you can book a consultation. The link is going to be below this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for upcoming videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye.